Hello, gang. Pickled Dragon, Unscripted back again. So we have a ton of questions that rolled in. So I might break them up into 2 or 3 different videos, just because I don't like to make the videos too long. But before we get there, I do want to share something with you guys. I always like to share some stuff. A lot of you guys have asked about the giveaway, the YouTube giveaway we're going to do. Who got, and I think I shared some of this stuff last time, the Crown Royal bags. And these are the smaller ones, so they're not the big giant blue ones. These are the smaller ones. But they're each going to hold a set of dice from Liquid Nebula. So those are pretty awesome. We've got a copy, Tales of the Yawning Portal. I love this because it's a bunch of rebooted old adventures. So yeah, that's awesome. Of course, gotta like that. It's got a Tomb of Horrors in there. It's got your White Plume Mountain. You gotta love that. So, in any case, moving on. We've got a young red dragon. Although that's a huge size base. So I'm not sure how young it is. It's pretty old for a youngster. And lastly, we have the big one. The board game, Wrath of Ashernallen. It's got a horde of miniatures inside. So whether you're interested in the board game or you're interested in just the miniatures, there's or both, you've got something there for a little bit for everyone. So what we're going to do when we do the giveaway, sorry, I'm trying to put this stuff out of the way, and the wheelchair can be difficult. What we're going to do when we do the giveaway is we're going to have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different prizes. We're going to have 5 winners. So it's not going to be winner take all. So there's opportunity for everyone, well, not everyone, but 5 people to win something. So I kind of like the idea of that rather than having just one winner. And once the dice roll in, once I have everything in hand, I will talk to you guys about the rules and how we're going to lay it out and how we're going to choose winners. So stay tuned for that. So in the meantime, I've got a horde of questions here that rolled in just over the weekend. And I've got all the other ones that have backed up. So I'm going to hit a few of them here real quick. The first question, and this is just the order they rolled in at. Reaching for something again. Sorry about that. Excuse me. My favorite chromatic and metallic dragon. And I think I've made that abundantly clear in past Instagram posts. But blue dragons are my absolute favorite dragon. I love how they look. I like they're thick-necked and they're stout. And I love the lightning breath, the imagery of just a gigantic bolt of lightning ripping through a group of adventurers is just awesome to me. So it should be no surprise that on the flip side, my favorite metallic dragon is a bronze dragon who also has that breath weapon. And both dragons, a bronze dragon does appear in one of my adventures in the Days of Blight 2, and also soon to be Days of Blight 3. And then I'm working on something that might involve a blue dragon. But so those are my favorite dragons. Nothing really special there, I think. But oh my goodness, we have to pause. All right, tis the nature of being unscripted. We're gonna get interrupted sometimes. But anyway, so the next question that rolled in, I'm going to mark these off as we go. The next question that rolled in was, in 5th ed, once players reach 20th level, how do you prefer to handle them? And the answer to that is that, honestly, in like nearly 40 years of gaming, well, I guess it's close to 40 years of gaming, we have never taken a character to 20th level. And the answer to that is why is that is as simple as that once you reach those epic levels, At least for us. Some people might be like, oh, I'm all about that. But at least for us, it just is not very much fun. Being able to just like slug it out with gods, basically. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of fun. I think the highest level character I ever had was 17th, and even that character, he just retired. I just retired him, but that particular group kept wanting to press on until I finally was like, oh, I think I'll do something else. It was my Friday night because I wasn't having fun. It just wasn't fun to me. And then they were all like, well, let's just reboot. Let's just start over. So, the consensus eventually was that, yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of fun once we started mixing it up with the works and stuff again. So, in terms of me as a DM, I think my highest level group was 15th or 16th mixed in there. That was the end of a particularly long campaign. And that was a 3rd edition campaign. So those characters were pretty outrageously powerful by that point. So to answer your question, I don't generally like to play at those levels. My favorite level range is anywhere from like 3rd to 7th in there, and that to me is like the sweet spot, the truly fun adventuring that happens at those levels for me. Obviously everyone's got their own opinion. So, favorite edition of D&D was the next question. And this actually leads into, I was speaking to the Liquid Nebula ladies about my favorite edition, and they wanted to know more about why, in particular, why my favorite edition is first, second in there. I'm still torn. I like to play first, but every once in a while I like to go dip into second. But the reason for it is I definitely feel like there's, to me, and again, I'm always going to use this disclaimer. Anyone else can have a different opinion, but to me, I think there's more of a connection between the players and the DM when it comes to character development in those earlier editions. And the reason for that is because it's really too easy for a player to sit down with their player's handbook in the newer editions, from third on, and say, okay, I need to get to this level, then I'll multi-class over here and get this, and then I jump over here and I'll get this ability. And, there were very, very few class abilities in the early editions. And if you wanted to do anything special, if you wanted any teamwork or anything on the fly, you really had to have some sort of role-playing negotiation with the DM. If you're playing a monk and you want to springboard off of a table and try to get a little extra damage or a little extra leverage, or you want to wrestle an ogre, but you obviously there's a size difference there. You can talk to the DM about or role play with the DM. Well, what are you going to try to do? Whereas with the later editions, it's, well, I've got this ability and it says this, and and again, these are my experiences. I also found with later editions, a lot of the adventures, the published adventures are, in particular with 5th edition, there is a sense of expediency with them. There's a pressing need to continue pushing the adventure forward, whereas in earlier editions, I should say, there was a lot of downtime. Healing, in 1st edition, you got 1 hit point back for a night of rest. So if you didn't have a cleric, you had to really take some time off. And that's part of the reason why the earlier editions, you may have had a stable of characters. So you might have this 4th level character who's resting. So, hey, let's go play our 5th level characters or our 6th level characters. And that sort of thing. But what that downtime gave you the time to do is, wizards could be researching their own spells. You could be working with a DM to create your own spells. Fighters could be having keeps built, attracting followers, attracting men-at-arms, actually becoming part of the landed nobility, becoming part of the politics of that. So I really enjoyed that part of the early editions, and I'm not saying it can't be done with the newer editions, but I definitely feel as though we've gotten away from that to a degree. Even in third edition, I remember the party would settled in this town and they started building a few things, and then they were like, oh well, we need to go do this, you know. And when I say this, they really wanted to go after the big bad evil guy, and um, you know, and maybe it's just part and parcel to the evolution of the game. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I just enjoy I enjoy that part of the game where the character gets to delve into a little bit more introspection. And I also like the idea of in the early editions when you leveled up, you had to find someone of a higher level who's willing to train you before you were able to ascend to that next level. That was always a fun experience for me as a DM to work out with the players. So, favorite edition, first or second? I could probably first. I'll say first. So, tips on starting a channel. Someone asked, how do you go around starting your channel? The first thing I would say is just do it. You know, I've had people bugging me for over a year to start vlogging and just talking about my thoughts on gaming and stuff. And I kept thinking, I said, oh, I got to do this. I got to get a camera. There was always a reason not to do it. And I had a camera. You know, it's nothing special, you know. But I would say the key to do it, to starting your own channel is to just start doing it. And then talk about something you're genuinely interested in. Because that excitement will come through. That passion for what you're talking about will come through. You know, so whatever it is you want to start a channel about, you know, it could be D&D, it could be Star Frontiers or Boot Hill, whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, will come through. You know, but if you try to do a lot of contrived videos where it's kind of feels forced, that'll come through, and people, man, look at that. The Joker's plan for sabotaging my hair continues, as you can see. So, tips on starting a channel. So, someone asked, and this is one of my favorite questions because I love talking about it. What is the best module to introduce people to first edition AD&D? And it is the Village of Hamlet. I have run the Village of Hamlet so many times, and I still am not bored of it. It's got a nice sized village with a number of well-developed NPCs. Some of them have problems that need solving. Some of them the DM could easily picture, oh, this is going on in their lives and they need help with it. There's just enough of a kernel of excitement with each one of them that you could say, oh, the DM could easily delve into the history of this NPC or that, or work up this problem or that. But then, on top of that, we've got a ruined keep. You've got ruins to explore in the midst of a swamp. And there's a dungeon underneath. And the bad guy in the dungeon obviously has hints to further nefarious actions. Not only, you know, most people know that it leads to the Temple of Elemental Evil, but the bad guy also has a hint of to the existence of the Drow and the Demon Queen Loth, which is, for first ed, is important, because if you look in the first edition Dungeon Masters, or first edition Monster Manual, you look under elves, and it talks about all the different kinds of elves. When it hits Drow, the Drow are supposed to be a legend. They're not even supposed to exist. It says so right in the book. The Drow are an evil race of elves that dwell underground and are just a legend. Well, of course, that we all know when Fiend Folio comes out and the Against the Giants series comes out and all those, the legend proves to be true. So, so that adventure has so much packed in those few pages. It's great. It's really amazing, I think. So, there was a question, my favorite villain that I've ever run. I'm going to save that one. I just wanted to touch on that because that could be a video into itself. I have two, and I'll have to figure out how I want to do it. But we saved a lot of stuff, a lot of transcription, note writing, as well as role play. We saved a lot of that stuff for both villains. And so I'm going to save that one for a video unto itself. I just wanted to let you guys know, the person that submitted it, it's coming. It's coming. So the next one, I'm going to do probably one or two more questions, and then just a quick blurb about the giveaway. But favorite published setting and why? And I'm assuming they mean 5e, but I guess it could be any setting, right? I mean, my favorite one, I grew up playing Greyhawk. So, and I love Greyhawk because it's lower magic. It's more of a Dark Ages feel to it. It feels grittier than like the really high fantasy of Forgotten Realms or the epic storyline of Dragonlance. But if he means 5e, I've got to go with Strahd. I love Ravenloft. They went crazy with Ravenloft in 2nd edition. They published a lot of stuff, or a lot of it was cool. But it went pretty crazy. But I love the idea of this guy who becomes incredibly powerful vampire, who's so powerful, in fact, that when the woman he loves commits suicide because he killed his brother, and she desperately wants her love, and which is not Strahd, so she throws herself from the ramparts and kills herself. And he becomes so tortured over it, he creates, in the 5e setting, he creates this Barovia, this demi-plane that is all at once his kingdom and his own personal hell. So he's tortured about this, but he's also so upset that he tortures everyone that stumbles into it. At the same time, he has the clarity to bring in adventurers to be his playthings, to entertain him, but at the same time, he's still so tortured. So I really enjoyed how they wrote the 5e Ravenloft setting, the Curse of Strahd. So in a 5e setting, but in overall, I would still say Greyhawk is my favorite. So good times. So again, we do have a giveaway coming up, and again, we're gonna have multiple winners. Oh, I do have something else to share with you. Let me grab it here. Just came in today. So, as you guys know, well, hopefully know, GaryCon was canceled because of the virus, but the players rallied and created a virtual GaryCon, and really saved the day. So we still had games, and we had these shirts made. Let me see if I can share that with you. You got the Big B's tortilla chip hand there, the wizard playing online there. It's the virtual GaryCon shirt that just came in today. That's pretty cool. I really like that. Still celebrating a life well played. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So again, we have tons more questions. I think we got through a third of what was submitted. Um, a third of what was submitted this over the weekend. So I might try to do one more video before this weekend and get you guys a bonus video out. I still have much more to share, and hopefully we'll be getting the Liquid Nebula dice here soon, and then we can actually officially. I don't like to roll out giveaways until I have absolutely everything in hand, just so that there's no one that's let down or disappointed or anything. So we've got lots more coming. If you have any questions, go ahead and fill them out below or submit them to me via Instagram. In the meantime, please subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button and the bell and all that good stuff. I also, oh gosh, I almost forgot. Jeez. I also have a new adventure coming out soon, The Prison of Kos, which I hope you enjoy. And, of course, my last adventure, which was The Evil Under Chlorhaven, that one's done pretty well, and I had a lot of good reviews for it. At least people communicating to me. I had a few reviews on Amazon. You could go check it out. But The Prison of Kos, probably within a month, will become available. So, with that, I'll just say happy gaming, everyone. And as always, please try to be heroic.